All right, we are live, Mr. Ernesto. We're gonna call this a special episode
Of what will be
Real Estate After Hours, State of the Market.
state of the market. Let's go.
But by that, do we want to get into the mortgage side of it, or do we want to talk real estate?
We can do a little bit of both. Obviously I deal with mortgage every day. I want to know from you to begin with. I want to know the story of your pipeline. The deals that you have in escrow right now, that all your realtors combined have in escrow right now. What does it look like? Who has those deals? Which of your realtors have those deals? Which don't? And all that stuff.
Okay, before we get into the boring side of real estate and the pipeline, nobody cares about that. What happened to Dad's house?
You killed it.
My fault.
No, I think we both killed it. I think I wanted a change in format that was more focused on the business, and you are apparently tired of talking about your kids.
I'm fed up with my kids, all 5 of them, and although I love them to death, this is my extracurricular activities.
Ah, yes.
After work, now that's what we call it, after hours.
That's why it's going to be called After Hours. Later on, we may or may not have alcohol in our hands. We'll see about that.
Well, we were talking about Hugh Hefner's robe.
Oh, yes.
Rod.
I was kidding about that.
I'm still with the
I am
idea.
not going to dress like Ron Jeremy for... oh, shit, not Ron Jeremy. What's his name?
Hugh Hefner.
No, Hugh Hefner, but the news anchor guy.
Rod Jeremy. No.
Ron Jeremy.
Ron Burgundy.
Rod
Ron
Burgundy.
Burgundy.
We just saw him on the fucking roast. Oh my god.
Yes.
Okay, with
Ron
that
Burgundy.
said, okay, so let's get into real estate. So you were asking about the pipeline, what's happening with real estate. Right now, it's like the tale of two opposites.
Man.
February or March, I forgot which month, because it was so bad that I wanted to forget. We had our worst month in the history of me being an office owner, broker owner,
Wow.
ever. So I think we closed like 10 deals, probably less.
That would have been February?
See, I have amnesia. Is it amnesia?
Yeah.
Where you like to forget shit?
Selective amnesia. Yes.
Selective, yeah. So I already forgot. It was either February or March. I think it was February. Could have been March. Worst month ever. But with that said, we have rebounded. Our agents, and we have some amazing agents. They went back to work and they're enjoying the business again, I guess. And we're doing extremely well as far as the pipeline, 50, 60 pending escrows. We have a lot of buyers and sellers that we're assisting. But with that said, there's also the other opposite. So the agents that are probably not as committed as some of these rockstar agents are struggling. It is hard right now to get your offer accepted, or because of the low inventory, and it is hard to get a buyer to accept what a payment looks like.
Yeah.
With a 6.5-7% rate when they're buying an $850,000 medium price LA County home.
Yeah, what's funny is that one of the things that I've noticed is you talk about good realtors being closers, and a lot of people would hear me say closers and they think that I mean the client, that they close the client.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I mean the other agent. The other agent that's representing the listing side, being a good closer, a buyer's agent being a good closer with the listing agent is as important as anything else I've seen, because the great realtors that I know get those deals open. It doesn't matter if there's a ton of competition, not a ton of competition. They're always going to put themselves at the front of the line for consideration, one way or another.
Yeah, so it's, and again, being a boss, you see the good and the bad. You see everything behind the scenes. We write the checks. We issue the 1099s and the W-2s. So we know what people that are making a decent living,
right.
People that might be struggling, or their numbers are down, and that includes us as owners. Our overhead goes up. People expect raises. We're not closing as much. I just shared that we had a worst month ever after 10 years, right? So with that said, it's understanding that there's going to be a big shift. There is a big shift happening in the marketplace.
Process of shifting, yeah.
Yeah, with real estate agents, how the business is made, created, and paid. I mean, I was golfing with somebody recently. Actually, you were with me. We were golfing with a guy.
Yeah.
And this gentleman, he uses the Zillow Flex account. So he gets leads from Zillow, qualified buyers or buyers, right? I asked him, what's the referral fee these days? Is it still 25, 30%? You know how much a Zillow lead referral fee is now? Like what their expectation is?
No.
Okay. I had no idea. I thought it was like 25 maybe percent. It's 40%. 40% of the commission this company wants back.
Wow.
So that leaves 60% for the guy that we were golfing and his broker, whatever split they have. it just, again, business is definitely changing. I'm not really interested in doing that type of business or going that route, building my company on the backs of another company, relying on that because at any day, at any given moment, they could say, hey, we don't want 40%. We want 50%.
Yeah, and forget about it. Yeah, exactly. That's my understanding with Zillow is that's what they've been doing
Yeah.
for a long time now. They started off at X amount. Oh, we're only going to take this much, and the great lion's share goes to broker and agent. Then it's a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more, and now we're down to you say 40%. Wow.
Yeah, that's
a
the
crazy
expectation.
amount.
Yeah, I mean, I just found that out. Obviously, I might be wrong, but this guy is
For people who are not in the real estate business, explain how Zillow makes money. How does Zillow stay in business?
well, they're a public.
I think what you're about to say is so important for any given person out there who just clicks on that website.
Well, I'll tell you this. My answer is different today than it was a year ago or maybe 2 years ago. I don't study them. They're a real estate company and a marketing company, and they are a publicly traded company. So they make money with when people buy their stock and people invest in them.
Right.
They also make money when real estate agents decide to invest their hard-earned income to generate leads that supposedly come from their website through their marketing, and they provide buyer leads or seller leads. I have no idea.
Right.
So again, they're a competitor. So because of that, I don't want to talk about them as much. But with that said, hey, they have their hand in all the cookie jars for sure. Which kudos to them. They created an amazing business, marketing, first to the lead. Everybody knows them. So with that said, I mean, listen, they could get away with it because people agree to pay and keep them afloat by paying them advertising dollars. I stopped probably in 2016 or 17.
Mm-hmm.
That was the last time that I had any marketing agreement with them, but the things were different. So
it just I guess the point I wanted to make with the whole Zillow thing is like with pretty much any social media platform that you're on right now, Zillow not being a social media platform but more of a website for research.
Yeah.
If you're getting it for free, then I heard somebody say this one time. It was the wisest thing I had heard in a long time. If you're getting the service for free, you are the product.
Of course, they collect data. They have so much data.
Yeah.
And guess what? They can resell and repackage that data and resell your information, your email, your phone number, what you're looking,
Exactly.
how many times you're there. So again, smart company. They were first to the business in that, and again, kudos to them and what they run. But with that being said, what in the world, Ernesto, is happening with mortgage rates? Our refinances back. I still have 3 properties that I must refinance.
Yes.
And when I say must, I want to refinance. I'm going to do a cash out refi on one, but I do not like my investor rates.
Yeah.
Today, so I'm holding off.
So interest rates are actually improving. They're on a downward trend at the moment, just because we saw a spike for a little bit there as we were getting more and more bad inflation news, and then once that everybody just kind of accepted the new normal of where inflation is. Now they're calling it sticky inflation, higher for longer, whatever you want to call it. Rates have kind of just steadied off and actually come down in the past couple of weeks a little bit from their highs of maybe 7.6, 7.7. Now we're in the lower 7s on the 30-year fixed conventional and in the mid 6s on the FHA loans. Somewhere in there is where most people are going to fall, and again, that's down from where we were just a couple of weeks ago. It's just people accepting new normals.
What's your opinion as far as where the rates will be by Christmas time this year?
So this is a good time to remind you that you said that there would be 6. Did you say 6? I think you said 6 rate drops. Check the video. Somebody check the video.
I'm not bringing up old shit. You're like,
oh no,
you're like my next girlfriend.
I'm bringing it up because there's a bet. I've laid is it money or wine or a dinner? I forget what it is.
I'm pretty sure it was
But Jose's going to owe me something very expensive at the end of this year because I think he said something around 6 rate decreases on the part of the Fed this year. I don't see it. I'm sticking to my to what I said. Something between 3 or less rate drops as we.
Did you read Powell's comments today?
I have not read Powell's comments.
Well, let me tell you what Powell says.
Yeah, I read a blurb saying be patient with rates is what I saw.
AKA, I'm not lowering the rates anytime soon, so don't expect them. I believe between now and December, there may be one rate cut, and so maybe a 1/4% if
Yeah,
that.
and so just a quick explanation around that is inflation at where it is right now
Mhm.
in the lower or mid 3% range is hanging around and proving to be a tougher thing to keep beating down. When we came down from 7 whatever we were at the high, and we came down pretty fast and strong down to where it is now. But now that we're here in the threes,
Sure.
inflation is sticking around. So for that reason, Powell is saying it looks like we're going to have to stick to our guns for a little bit longer.
By the way, can he beat it down to 2%? I don't see it happening. How?
That's the job.
How?
The job is to bring it down to 2%. The Fed only has two jobs. One, maintain as much employment as possible, as is healthy. I think people think that means zero unemployment. It doesn't. It means something around 4% unemployment, 4 to 5% unemployment, and control inflation. So what levers do they have? They have the ability to affect interest rates everywhere by moving a couple of interest rates that they control. And so he's saying we're going to keep our foot on the gas to keep interest rates elevated so that things are harder to buy, so that sellers have less incentive to raise prices on you. That's what he's saying.
You know what it has raised in the last 6 months, 8 months, last year? The cost of credit that consumers are using.
Yes.
So I believe the inflation is being held, that 3.5% because consumers are having to live off of their savings account and B, borrowing more on their credit card. So I don't know. At a certain point,
they'll say blaming the consumer again instead of saying
consumer.
Yeah, instead of saying is if you look
No,
at if
they're
you,
surviving. So how do they
Exactly.
survive? They dig into their pocket.
But
I don't know how we're
the
gonna get to
use of
2%.
credit does not push inflation. The spending of money, whether it's credit or otherwise, pushes inflation. That's how inflation gets sourced. Where and how much money are you spending to get eggs? As a famous example, right? Lettuce, a car, etc., etc., etc. Some things are actually coming down in price. For example, used cars down 2.2%
Sure.
year over year. Great. What's higher? Insurance is up. Homeowners insurance too, but car insurance up 22.2% year over year. So you're paying 22% more for car insurance right now than you were at this time last year. And good luck to you if you're getting a new policy, by the way.
So what's the solution? How does that get solved moving forward?
Yeah. So the Fed.
I say a new president. What do you say? No.
So no. I think any president that steps in, just like the current president, just like the next president, is either going to take advantage of a lot of things that they did not do, or talk badly about the last guy for having it left to them to do. Instead of just fighting the battle, we're gonna hear the wrong side, which is what you're gonna hear from your guy, what I'm gonna hear from my guy. Doesn't matter.
By the way, I don't have.
Not that it doesn't matter, but it's
I don't have a guy. I'm for the consumer, and I'm for middle America because that's my client.
yes.
That is my client. It's a blue collar everyday worker that can barely afford
Yeah.
a house right now. So with that being said,
So what the Fed is trying to do? What is the driver of this economy? Who drives this economy in terms of growth? Who drives this economy? The producer? No. The buyer, the American buyer, drives the economy. The American buyer doesn't buy anything. It doesn't matter what you produce. The producer won't make any money. The American buyer is what they're trying to do is force producers to stop accelerating costs so that the American buyer can have a more affordable lifestyle.
right. So Ernesto, rates are going to be where in December again?
Exactly where?
Give us your prediction.
I think we're going to dip into the sixes, and if all goes well, preferably stay into the sixes on mortgage rates through the end of the year. That would be fantastic. That would, to me, be a good end of the year. I know, we have room to move down for sure, but we have to see inflation come down before that happens.
All right. So let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up with the following.
Yes.
Did you watch the Tom Brady roast on Netflix? That was probably the sickest, illest, meanest thing I've seen on Netflix.
Oh my God.
Ever. It was bad.
It was bad. You know what? Roasts are, and I think this is on purpose. They're extremely funny, of course, but they also make you feel uncomfortable, man. Like some of the things that you would never say get said at roast, and you're like, wow. Like, how do you guys not get all burnt up? And it was by all accounts, a very successful roast, the biggest roast ever, right? And Tom Brady was the center of it. He took it like a champ, by the way. That like he things were said. Oh, did you see the part where he walks up to I forget what the comedian's name, but the MC, the guy who MC'd it,
Kevin.
and he's talking about the former Patriot or the Patriots owner.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't say that.
Yeah, because he got a tug job, he got a massage, he paid for a hooker at the massage.
Yes, yes.
You know, again, he was caught. He was part of a sting.
And Tom Brady's respect level for that man is so high that he
Yeah.
interrupted a little bit and said, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, which I didn't like because it's open season. If you're in the arena,
Yes,
and
yeah.
you made it to that arena where the people know your name,
Yeah.
you should get shit.
And I'm sure that everybody in that place, to include everybody else who got talked smack about, they all understand. We just gotta sit here and take it. But in that, I found it very interesting that Tom Brady stood up in that moment and did go up
Kinda
and
shut it
defend.
down.
Yeah, I was like, wow,
Yeah,
that's saying something.
I think we all need that kind of a brother or
Loyalty?
support,
Yes,
loyalty.
yes.
I guess that's got your back and is gonna hey shut that shit down. But you know who they didn't shut the commentary down on Giselle. Oh my gosh, bro! They unloaded on his ex.
Oh
and
my God.
Her jiu-jitsu boyfriend, whomever.
Yes, yeah.
Thanking Tom for paying for it.
Kim Kardashian got, oh God.
I'm gonna move.
I don't
on.
even like Kim Kardashian, but holy wow, that was some incredibly disturbing stuff that was said about her.
And Aaron Hernandez. So that was
Oh,
I
yeah.
think more disturbing.
Yeah, well, Aaron.
Like that guy
Hernandez-
killed somebody and then killed himself,
Yes,
and they kept
he's
talking
no-
about.
he's no longer around to defend himself, so he's an easier target.
Yeah.
But there were people in the room that I was like, wow, Gronk took a lot of shit.
Apparently,
my God.
Gronk is a dumbass.
Apparently.
No, but he's
No.
a smart dude.
I don't think he's a dumbass.
Yeah, I don't think so either. He was actually hilarious. He was
Yeah.
funny.
He's on the funnier side, but he was a really good sport about it. There was I don't know his name, but the comic who got up out of the stands, grabbed the mic, and immediately started tearing up Kim K.
Everybody, Tony something.
Yeah, oh my God, that guy to me was the highlight. I've never seen anybody get smacked so hard by a comedian in my whole life than that dude right there.
Anyway, I would love to see the real estate version on that. So let's wrap it up with
Oh, let's
this.
roast Jose.
No.
Send in votes. If we get enough reaction on it, I will make sure to put Jose on a stage and roast him. It's not like we don't have a lot to talk about.
Okay, you kind of beat me to the punch of what I was trying to say. What real estate or mortgage professional would be ideal? Tom Brady level, meaning a Hall of Famer, somebody that has been doing this for 23, 25,
I've got names,
30 years.
I've got names growing through my head right now.
I would nominate Marty Rodriguez. If she could take it,
Wow.
sit on the hot seat, and just and by the way, Marty's got a podcast, so hey,
Yes.
I would love to see. But again, she's got to take it, and she
Wow.
can't talk back and yell at us because Marty does yell, and will
I don't
chin-check you.
know. That's
Is there anybody in the mortgage space that you would like to see?
Yeah, there's a few people. I'm not gonna name them out loud.
I'm just trying to think like somebody big, that everybody know. How about the owner of the? He owns the Cavaliers, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he owns not UWM, the other one, the competitor.
Oh, Rocket?
Yeah, he owns the Rocket. I think it's Dan somebody.
I don't know.
Yeah, so him, because you could talk shit about the Cavaliers because they suck, and you could talk shit about Rocket Mortgage because everyone says shit about them. I'm just kidding. No, with that said, I would love to see like a mortgage or real estate side roast. So
Yeah, for sure.
hey, I don't know. Those are my two nominations, Marty. Let's put you in the hot seat, but we would need some good comedians.
Yeah, sure. I don't know if you.
We
and I
could be
would
mean, but you
qualify.
gotta be funny.
But we could get somebody right here from the Covina. What do you call it? The Laugh Factory here in Covina.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. All right, let's wrap it up.
Yeah, let's go.
So is this like official
So,
episode?
let me ask you something. Are we? Is this gonna be a hard rule? We never are gonna talk about our kids again.
Yes.
At some point, you're gonna feel something proud. You're not gonna want to talk about it.
No.
Wow. Okay. All right. It's turned into.
If
that.
we talk kids, I'm gonna get the fuck up and walk
Okay.
away.
So no longer dads anything. Now this is just realtors.
Anti-kids, we're gonna call this shit.
Anti-kids. Anti-kids. We're gonna pretend like we don't have kids.
Hey, most we're just kidding. No, we will. Like my kids in the business. But it's not Dad's House Podcast anymore. Let's just change it up. We want to talk business, entertainment.
Fine.
Mix
and so,
it up.
And so it's a name to be determined at the moment.
I really like the real estate after dark.
I don't like the
He says after
dark part. That sounds a little too far into the
after hours.
After
Real
hours,
estate and
Real
vodka.
estate after dark makes me think that that's not good.
Real estate and cigars.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Maybe real estate or something along those lines. We'll finalize by the next episode.
You know what? Who cares? We're shooting. We're creating, and we're gonna ship it out. But with that being said, I'm glad to be back. After how long has it been?
It's been almost 6 months.
Because I was depressed, you said?
I didn't say that, but now you have. I don't know.
Depression. Got new glasses and shit. So, just kidding.
You should be more depressed now. Look at that.
I love it. All right, guys, thank you. I hope you like, subscribe, follow us, tag somebody that should be listening and learning from us. That's it.
That was.
You ready? I'm ready.
It's recording.
We're recording.